They're not letting me go live. Okay, there we
Are we
go.
not live?
Yeah, we're live, but hold on, buddy. Um, why is your screen dark?
um, I'm working on it. All right, we good.
We good? We good?
I feel like I'm back at, you know what I'm saying?
We
Back at
good?
spot, John.
Why do you feel like that?
You remember what you had to do to get one of these cups?
What cup was that?
Say
Let me
it.
see.
Oh my gosh, the Cyber's cup, man.
Oh yeah, I got like a bunch of those, like
Dang,
a bunch
dog.
of black. I got a bunch though. Like yeah, I got a bunch. I mean, it's not a real big thing. I want to say per se,
I'm
but
just saying it made me feel like, I'm back in the day when we used to cut up in that thing. Leave
yeah,
after debating for hours after the show. Fun times, man.
yeah,
All right, what are
yeah.
we live on? I don't so I can share it so we can let's get
I'm about to
this
tag
thing
you.
going.
I'm about to tag you. Just relax.
This guy. Hold on, bro. I have an issue.
You have an
It
issue?
says I'm a guest. It says I'm a guest.
Relax. I'm about to relax.
It says I'm a guest, John.
I mean, today you
It says
today
I'm a,
you're a guest. Tomorrow you're a host.
it says
Like, I mean,
I feel
you
some
do
kind of way. But
you do it all, Chris. Like, you can't be overly sensitive, okay? And I feel like you are sometimes, and that's okay. But you shouldn't be. Anywho, what up? What up, people? You know what it is. You know who it is. Your boy John Albert. With nothing but facts, and my co-host Chris Brooks. He's worried about the fact that it says he's a guest today, and as he says it on the template that we use, it says guest on there too. So hey, got some stuff to fix. Anywho, we haven't talked in
but
a
on yours
minute.
it says host.
We we haven't talked it up in a minute. We haven't
Oh, you
chopped it up in a minute. Yeah, we haven't chopped it up in a minute. Chris has been on a hiatus. He's been lost in a win, like always. But we back, nothing but facts. Talk some sports. We've been off the air for a minute, right?
to cut you off. Are you gonna share this to our following or what we doing?
Yeah. So like you know how to share, right?
No, I don't know how to
I
share on
mean, if
this
you
new
don't know how to
thing.
use technology, just tell me. I mean, that's
I just told you.
I understand that. Like I tagged you on the post, Chris, on my page. Um, let me go on Mo Better and see if you're tagged on there. I can probably tag you on there too. Um, but yeah, you probably should learn how to work this because
You know,
I'm not gonna be your savior all the time.
my savior is crazy.
I mean, it's the truth.
All
Yeah, it's the
right.
truth.
Um,
Yeah, it's the truth. It's the truth, man. Like just think about it. Like I'm really like your savior.
so am I leading the show? Savior.
Yeah, come on, man. Do like be great today.
No,
Like,
no. Let's jump right in. Let's jump right into it though. I'm sorry for the hiatus. It was my fault. I ain't gonna fake it. Um, put the blame on John, but I ain't gonna do that here in 2025. But Barry, me and John came to an agreement. and negotiated a new contract for me and things like sense, you know, because you know me, I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach real quick.
Here you go, and here
And it's
goes,
not a game,
and here goes
but
David
no,
Ruff.
no, man, no, happy to be back and happy to be talking ball. Was national sports as well, you know, and I just want to open it up to somebody who, you know, was started off by somebody who's really kind of some of the things that he did were young kid being young, but you know, John, I think we both should just kind of clap it up, man. 1,000 yard year, his first one. You gotta clap it up. You gotta clap
Hey,
it up
so
for
like
that, dog. You know,
your audio sounds horrible.
you
It's,
definitely should have told me something earlier.
well, it's going in and out.
Moment.
It's giving Timo. It's really giving, you know, cricket vibes, cricket wireless vibes. Like, come on, like what are we doing here? Like, our people tuned in and they can't understand a word that you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you
Can
now.
you hear me now?
That sounds
All right,
100%
perfect.
better.
All
You
right,
can't
perfect. I
lead.
just
You
had to take
can't
my
lead the
AirPods
show.
off.
You can't beat a show doing stuff like that. You know,
This guy,
that's what
man.
makes me
So
hesitant.
again, you know, as we as I ignore you, like you ignore me. No, but seriously though, man, just want to give a big shout out to Jameson Williams, man, a kid who a St. Louis kid. Obviously Cardinal Ritter kid came from that umbrella of Brandon
Hey, now
Gregory,
stand up.
Sterling Finney, some really good guys that, you know, that I really respect in this business, you know, and they kind of helped and leaded that guy. And now he's obviously went to Ohio State, transferred to Alabama, but now he's one of the on one of the most prolific football teams in the NFL today, man. And he's overcome a lot because last year we were talking about Amon St. Ra. I forget how to pronounce his name, but some other wide receivers on that receiving core. And maybe he was going to be, you know, kind of he was the odd one out, you know. But one thing that I was always taught in this is you can't coach speed, you know. And he's done an amazing job, continue to develop as a young wide receiver. They're giving him an opportunity to be able to run away from people. They're giving him an opportunity to be able to catch the ball in space and outrun people. So that is. If you're playing wide receiver, you're playing wide receiver to be able to get 1,000 yards. That's the goal, you know. So I just want to give a special shout out to him, man, because I just think it's phenomenal. I think obviously he's been through some things, but for him again to be able to, you know, come out this year and get 1,000 yards receiving and an opportunity to play, you know, in some playoff games and have an opportunity in a tournament, I just think it's huge, man. So I don't know if you want to, you know, kind of piggyback. You got that look on your face.
What look do I have on my face?
That look.
What is the look?
Would you like to chime in?
I mean, I think you said a whole lot, and I think he's been nothing short of electric all football season. He's put on the show. He's put on for St. Louis, minus the little small hiccups he has, you know, outside of football. J-Mo he didn't did his thing. You know what I'm saying? He represented St. Louis well. So, I mean, I don't have really much to say. You said a whole lot. You kind of laid the foundation for what he's doing in the NFL and for the Detroit Lions. And so, all you can do is clap it up for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, just kind of sticking even on that topic. We got a lot of kids, you know, that were playing in this college playoffs.
We got one. We got one playing tonight.
Yeah, we got one playing tonight. Wait. Well, it'll be
Kyron playing tonight.
Well, yeah. We got Kyron playing tonight.
More better player of the year. 1 year.
And I'll name a few. And just for the audience. And then we can kind of, you know, even dive into it a little bit more. You know, but right. You got Jeremiah Love, CBC. You got Ryan Wingo. Obviously, they just lost. That's at Texas. You got Christian Gray, who had the interception that basically sealed the game. Yep. You got Isaiah Rubio, who was
Lutheran St. Charles kid. Yep, you got him. You got so you got some guys, and then you got the kid from Hannibal, Aeneas Williams, bro,
He gonna be a beast,
and he's a freshman.
Yeah,
So when
he
we
built
talk about,
like a grown man though.
he is, and he was built like that in high school. I remember when Lutheran North played him, and everybody, if you went to that game, you left knowing who the best football player was on the field whenever he stepped on the field. It wasn't even close.
And then you look up 10 months later, and he playing. Now he's gonna play for a national championship. But I mean, he's a third string back, but he getting touches.
But he playing.
Yeah.
He ain't a third string, because usually on that college depth chart it's 1, 2. If you ain't a 1 or a 2, you're not getting in.
Yeah,
he's playing.
You're seeing more college coaches move more towards the NFL style of depth chart, if that makes sense, as far as giving 2 to 3 guys, you know what I'm saying, carries and touches, instead of one guy getting 25 or 30 touches like in Boise State. A lot of those guys, they're getting 15 touches, and some of them are lining up at receiver and the slot receiver. In the slot and the wide receiver.
Yeah, and I mean, he will be in the portal. Who are we talking about, Steve? Steve said he's going to be in the portal. I don't know if he was talking about Aeneas. But I think when you got a guy, and one thing I'll say before that, John, schools are now getting more guys. You know what I mean? They're getting backs who can go somewhere else and be a starter. But I think one thing interesting about Notre Dame is, Notre Dame really don't get in the portal. They're building, and they're building in within. And to think that there was a coach there who left there and went to LSU, and now Coach Freeman and his staff are in the national championship game, when that coach said that you can't basically win a national championship at Notre Dame. And he went to LSU. So shout out to Coach Freeman as well for all the hard work that he's done. He's, going to be the first Black head coach to coach in a national championship game, obviously having an opportunity to win it. But, John, staying on topic with, the kids that are from St. Louis that are playing in these playoffs, what does that say about St. Louis football? What does that say about the development of certain kids within St. Louis football? Because if you think about it, that's a lot of kids. I believe it was 6 kids from the state of Missouri that were playing in the college. 11 in the college playoffs.
11.
Okay, 11. What does that say about St. Louis and St. Louis football?
Well,
high school football.
I think it shows the growth that we've had over the years. I think it's showing the depth the depth and parity that we have within high school football now, as far as not just 1 or 2 high schools producing high major or high level football players. You're now seeing that, a lot of our schools, even though they're not schools that might not be winning or competing for a state title, they have kids that are good enough to play at the high Power 5 level. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a kid out of Hannibal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got a kid out of Lutheran St. Charles. Like
Rubio.
Like, you got kids now that they ain't just coming from the Smiths, the CBCs, maybe even Cardinal Ritter, Luther North. Like, it's parity now. It ain't just an East Side now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more than just 1 or 2 schools that are producing high level kids. I mean, of course, Edwardsville's always been in the picture. They produce more than enough kids going to Iowa and being able to play at a high level. But it just shows that football is being taught at a high level here in St. Louis, and our kids are actually being able to play and get on the field right away too. It ain't just they coming in, they sitting and waiting 2 to 3 years. It's a lot of them are playing right away. Look at Christian Gray. You know what I'm saying? Look at Williams out of Hannibal. Playing right away. Look at Jeremiah Look. Same way out of CBC.
Ryan Wingo starting
right away. Look at Ryan Wingo. Same way. Playing right away. So that should give our St. Louis kids, if nothing else, hope. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it also should give them something to inspire to look up to say, hey, look, like, this is what they doing. Like I got to work my butt off. I got to work my tail off to maybe one day when it's time for me to go to a Power 5 or wherever they go, whether it's Power 5 or whether it's mid-major or whatever, that they're ready to play right away. But a lot of that comes down to teaching and learning, you know what I'm saying, where they come from and the amount of work that they're going to actually put in to get to that level.
Yeah, and you make a great point, and this is what I find very, very, very intriguing. And I find it, I won't say that. Ryan Wingo, okay, played at SLU, played under, obviously, Adam Cruz, the head coach.
21 Savage.
Lorenzo Brinkley, offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Okay. Coached at SEMO on a college level. Took Kirkwood. We all know that story. Coached at DeSmet.
Yep.
Christian Gray. Who did he play for? Steeples. What is Steeples doing right now? Offensive analyst for the University of Iowa State.
He played for Coral Reed too.
I mean, he did.
Yeah. So,
but that was water. No disrespect to that staff. That boy was already, you know what I'm saying? He was in a position already. He was, and not to say that he didn't learn anything like that, but I'm saying like Isaiah Rubio. Do you remember who his coach was at Lutheran St. Charles? Arlen Harris.
I mean,
NFLer.
Didn't Arlen Harris play in the league?
He played in NFL.
Okay.
His dad also coached on that team as well, Rubio, who played in the NFL as well. You know, so some things that you're seeing, it's some guys that know some things about football. And one thing that I would say, if you are a parent and you say you want your child to have an opportunity at the next level, it is imperative that you get them in a system, a place where you're seeing success.
Right.
You're seeing kids go to school. You're seeing it. You're not necessarily following the trends. I had a conversation with a really, really good friend of mine. And obviously, I coach at St. Mary's. Obviously, you know, my son went to SLU, but you know, we were having a conversation and I said SLU, and he said, man, like, what is it with you and SLU? Like, what is it? And I said, trust. They're always going to play competitive football, obviously the academics, but when you go to SLU, you're not necessarily going there to try to always compete for a state championship. Right. And what I'm looking for, what is my son going to hear each and every day from a football standpoint? It's not about going somewhere to compete for a state championship all the time. And they very well had the opportunity to go compete for a state championship when he was at SLU. So you're going to get that. But they're being coached. Mike Jones was there. They're being coached by guys who know how to play the game, who know how to coach the game, who've had success. If I'm a young parent out there and I'm looking for I don't know where I want to go with my kid, I'm going to try my absolute best to put them in the hands of somebody who may not be winning the state championships, but look at who going to school from those places. You better be paying attention. And I'm not going to look at the people who, oh, he was this, he was that, because there's a lot of kids who are really, really good in high school, but they're not even eligible to go to college. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to all of those schools, man. I just saw today, DeSmet posted, Coach Merritt posted 3.5 grade point average. I can get behind that. I can get behind it because now I know my kids, they're going to be on my kid to even be eligible. The standard for them to be eligible to go to college, they're going to have that. Most people don't understand. You need a 2.2 core GPA to even be eligible to go to school.
Hey, I'm
and that's core classes.
I got you. And it's not to cut you off from education. Steve had a good question. And I kind of want to, that's actually a good topic. John and Chris, how does Kevin Coleman do at Mizzou by filling in at the slot position where Luther Burden, Dominique Lovett both had success at that position in that offense?
I think it's a slam dunk for Coach Drink. I think it's a slam dunk through the legs, windmill, all of that. Because I'm going to tell you something. Every place that kid Kevin Coleman has been, shout out to St. Mary's alum, he's been successful. He's been successful. Now, obviously, he's jumped around to opportunities, but
I would say this. I think Jackson State first year, yep. Louisville, not so much, in my opinion. I feel like he was underused.
He was, but he was second leading receiver on the team.
Yeah, but I just feel like he was underused as far as like how they should have used him with him being so dynamic like he is. And then Mississippi State, I think he kind of got back on the scene like, okay. And I think looking at it from my lens, it could really be a slam dunk. Like
he's faster than all of those guys that Steve named. He's more electric with the ball in his hands more than hear me out. Just hear me out.
And Luther Burden.
Hear me out.
I'm gonna listen to you.
They're almost the same player, bro. They were kind of this. Luther fell into this slot role when they were forcing him the ball early on. You know what I mean? Trying to just throw the ball up to him. They put him in the slot, start being able to get the ball to him. They both do the same thing at the position. I believe Kevin is faster, but I feel like they play the game very, very similar. And I think one thing. Kevin's going to have the mindset to break Luther's record, not for malice or anything like that, just as a goal. And I think he's going to have an opportunity to do it.
What record is that?
Yards by a receiver or something like that, I forget, or career yards or something like that. I forget what it is, but there's a record out there, and he's going to be wearing 3. You know, too bad Mizzou couldn't do a better job of getting them both at the same time, because that just would have been.
We knew. Listen, man.
I'm just saying.
Stop acting like we don't know the situation. They would have never played together ever. That would have never happened. All right, and in my opinion, when they both came out of high school, I do think they should have picked the same school to go to, and I think they would have been dynamic together. In my opinion, if they would have both went to Mizzou at the same time, like I think that it could have really been something special with them even being on the same side. One at the X receiver, one at the Z receiver, whatever you want to call it. One at the wide, one at the slot. Like the stuff that could have happened with a dynamic back out the, you know what I'm saying? Like, but things happen the way they happen, and Kevin Coleman ended up coming in now, and like I think he's gonna shake stuff up. I think Mizzou gonna be really, really good next year, depending on what the quarterback situation looks like. You know what I'm saying? Mookie comes back off injury. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna get a chance to get more touches. I feel like he was underused.
But he's playing outside, and he's 5'10". He's playing outside. I think he's more of a slot guy where he can catch the ball in space and make a guy miss as well. You know, but what are you gonna tell a kid? You know, play this position or not? You know what I'm saying? Not be on the field. And I don't think they give him enough targets as well. And obviously, I'm sitting, you know, in a different seat.
There was a lot of games. There was a lot of games I watched where I saw him running wide open, and Brady didn't throw him the ball at all. I didn't even attempt to throw him the ball. So it is what it is.
And I would have to check because I believe Mook might have been a senior. I'm pretty sure he's a senior.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure. So he might not even have I don't believe he even has any more eligibility. I'll check on it.
You might be right.
Yeah, but I think extremely happy for both of the kids. I coached against both of those kids, you know, in that cycle, electrifying kids, and it was always 1A or 1B. I think Kevin's going to do a fantastic job. And I'm obviously happy for Luther Burden and what Kevin Coleman has been able to do in their careers. I think it's just a phenomenal. I think it's a phenomenal thing. So, yeah.
Moving right
Any more
along.
on that?
Moving right along.
Shout out to Coach Wagner from Lutheran North. Big opportunity out at Sacramento State. He's going to be going. He accepted a job as an offensive analyst with Sacramento State. And John, we talked about kids having an opportunity. I believe now this is Kyle Wagner is maybe the fourth or fifth coach in more recent time, to kind of be, get their shout or get their shot at the big leagues. Corey Bethany, obviously Kyle Wagner now, Steeples, God dang it. And I know there are a few other guys. What's in the water?
Corey Patterson.
So there's four, and there's one more.
There's one more. Look at the ingredients though.
I'm listening.
All of them have one thing in common.
What's that?
They've all ran deep in the playoffs, and they've all come from successful programs from that they actually ran and led. So if you look at Corey Patterson took Trinity from the slums to the high rise. You know what I'm saying? If you go to Steeples, Steeples took DeSmit from out the mud, really from out the mud, and nobody was talking about them, and made DeSmit relevant.
Like he brought him back.
Actually started beating CBC. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You look at Corey Bethany. Corey Bethany took St. Mary's, in which St. Mary's was the mud and an all-white program before he took the helm, and he turned that program around. He didn't win a state title. However, the team
indirectly he did.
His team. Well, he won a state title as an assistant coaching at CBC.
No, I'm talking about the team that he brought in.
They won a year later. Yeah, they won a year later, right?
And 2 years in a row.
2 years in a row, right? And truthfully,
could have been 3. COVID.
Yeah, could have been 3 for sure. But the point is that all those guys took programs and turned them around. All of those guys show what leadership looks like when it comes to rejuvenating or rebuilding a program and actually building a program from the ground up. Because none of those programs were good before they took them. None of them. St. Mary's was not good.
Lutheran North had won a state championship.
Lutheran North is the only one.
Okay.
Out of the ones that I've named between Corey Patterson, Corey Bethany, and Steeples. Now, Kyle has been a part of success. He was a part of success over at, he went to Kirkwood. He played at Kirkwood, right? Which was a successful program with him playing there. He coached.
Until they met us.
Yeah, he coached it. Not going to get into that.
I'm just playing.
Coached at CBC. You know what I'm saying? Got a chance to come up under some people that, in my opinion, one of the best coaches around. You know what I'm saying? Head coach over at CBC. Then he got a chance to get on Reed's staff. In my opinion, if you look at Carl Reed's coaching tree, and a lot of those guys have taken head coaching jobs, either been successful or have moved on to the college ranks and gotten jobs. Corey Patterson, the same way over at Trinity. If you look at that, look what he did and look why it went the way it went for him. You know what I'm saying? Same way with Steeples at DeSmit. He took it from the slums. He made it something big. Somebody at the next level saw the leadership qualities in him and said, hey, I want him to be a part of my staff. And now, the rest is in the history books. All of those guys show what leadership looks like and what it should be when it comes to developing a program that's built off a winning motto. You know what I'm saying? It's the work ethic that they put in. You look at all those guys, like I ain't never heard nobody say that them guys wasn't working. You know what I'm saying? That they weren't putting the work in, meeting with their staff, recruiting.
I don't know
Getting,
what you're talking about.
I'm just saying, getting kids in there. At the end of the day, private school, y'all gotta get kids in there. Y'all gotta get kids in there that's gonna pay tuition. It's not. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Not accusing anybody of anything, but I'm just saying. Period. When you look at those guys, man, they got it in. They got a winning DNA. Point blank. Period. They have winning. That's a part of their culture. They know what it looks like, and they've been up under people who showed them the way. In my opinion, all of those guys have all been up under people who showed them the way. That says, "Hey, look at me."
Yeah, and you make a good point. I think the leadership part is key. You know, because one characteristic that I look for in a head coach is the biggest thing, leader of men.
Yeah.
Can you get young men, older men to follow you? You know, and that is that is a trait within itself to be able to do that. You know, and obviously you got the Carl Reeds of the world, the Wagners, the Bethanys, the Patterson. All of those people were able to get to a point where they were leader of men, and they got people to follow them and kids to follow them and buy in to, you know, what they had going on, what the agenda. You know, there may have been some prima donnas in the group, you know, but you didn't really hear too much about it. You know what I mean? And I think that's a major shout out, you know, to those men, because that's what it takes. You know, that's what it takes. You got to be able to lead men in a way where they'll run through a brick wall for you. You know what I mean? So again, shout out to them. You know, while we're still kind of on the topic, I'm gonna come back because obviously you have the Kyle Wagner thing, but do you remember what year was it? 2018 was it? 2017? Was it 17? 16? I forget the class. Marcus Washington, Isaiah Williams, Jameson Williams.
Ooh.
You get where I'm going?
That's the year they lost to Luther North.
That's the year. But just think about all of those kids that came out that year. All of those kids. Is this, I guess this is the new wave now. Because a lot of those kids have graduated. Isaiah's in the NFL. Kyron was a little bit later, maybe a year later. He's in the NFL. J-Mo, obviously. Is this the new wave now?
So,
but it didn't feel like it when it was happening.
When they were
in it, it felt, you knew it. The city was on fire with those kids. Trinity, Lutheran, North.
That 2019 class is on fire. And just think about it like this: when I went to watch
2019,
I went to watch Cardinal Ritter and Lutheran North play this year at Cardinal Ritter, and I was over there and I had this conversation with somebody that was standing next to me watching the game, and they was just like, "Man, it's kind of give me a feel of Trinity Lutheran North." And I said,
"That will never be matched again." Because there was so much other stuff going on.
Man. I said, "Hell no!" I said, "Well, first of all, if you go back and just look at the dynamics of the players, just look at what Trinity had. Trinity had at that time like 11 Division I football players.
Like, that's crazy, bro.
All right. Lutheran North at the time didn't have that many. However, they did have some grown men.
Ronnie Perkins. Oh my
Ronnie
God.
Perkins was a grown man.
If you never even saw him play, if you seen him in pregame, you knew he could play. David Richards 2.0, like just in a different position, man.
Easily. And it's just like just looking at all of those guys, man. Marcus, Mookie, you know what I'm saying? Like looking at all those guys, like that shit was like highlight reels.
Yeah.
Like
it was.
It was slants one move, boom, juke, out of there. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah, play breakdown. Shake two people in the backfield. Should have been sacked for a loss of 10. Turns it into a 70-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Like Perkins catches a tight end dump pass.
Right.
It goes from 50.
Right. One of the only passes they threw the whole game.
Lutheran North running the wing T.
Yeah.
And scoring 50. Like that game, wasn't that game like a 50-45 or something like that?
Yeah.
245. It was something wild. You know what I'm saying? So like the dynamics was way different. Like just looking at the guys now, we got some really good football players, but I don't know if I can look at any of those guys and be like, okay, I know he finna be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I feel like it slowly happened because in that 2019 class, it was just like name a guy. You could name a guy.
Yeah.
You know, when you start looking at, I want to say the 2022 class, you know what I'm saying? Those class, I feel like we could name 10 guys off that team. You know, now you'd be lucky to be able to name one or two off of a team, but you're seeing it just in a different way. You're seeing, I'm gonna say a lot of these kids, and this is no slight, a lot of these kids now have been more productive than those kids in the 2019 class when you're picking them from a spot. And it's hard to be able to do that because when you think about that 2019 class, you think about teams. You know what I'm saying? You think about Ritter. You think about Lutheran North. You think about Trinity. So you were just like, you basically had everybody in this cluster. These guys, well, now it's like DeSmet, CBC, Lutheran, St. Charles, Hannibal. Excuse me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's still, what I'm so amazed at, man, is the St. Louis area is really, really getting on the map. It really, really is. And coaches know Barry Odom. You're gonna start seeing a lot of offers come out of Purdue. I think it was one today. Jordan Taylor got Purdue. He's over at the running back over at SLU. So you're gonna start seeing that. Like, you're going to start seeing more guys pop up. But again, these players.
Jordan Taylor, ain't that the kid that played for Boobie?
He played for Boobie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He gonna be a junior, ain't he, already?
He's gonna be a junior.
Man, time flies, man. Time flies, man. Yeah. I remember looking at them, watching those kids, that bad boys group that he had was just so you know what I'm saying, so electric and so deep. You know what I'm saying, with loaded with talent.
Yeah. No, it's extremely, it's humbling to be able to see this man going on in the city. And again, it's got to give kids hope too. Parents, kids, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. All of that. Glad to see you back on the airwaves. For sure, Jerk. Sticking on, you know, kind of the topic, obviously Lutheran North lost their head coach. Obviously a big, you know, jump for him. And I think a lot of people out here right now, you know, if you're kind of in the high school world, is what happens to Lutheran North now. You know, it's always a fear that kids are going to jump ship. And, you know, I'm hearing that kids have already started to leave the program. And, I mean, John, how do you – what do you do? What do you do? How do you manage the situation? How do you keep everybody right here? You know what I mean? They just won state. And they're not the only one. You know, Ladue, you know, looking for a coach. Francis Howell, Central. There's a few other schools, you know, looking for coaches. What do you do if you're in a situation like this, especially coming off a state championship at Lutheran North?
Are you asking me as a former AD?
I'm asking you as all of the above, the quote-unquote host of the show.
Well, I mean, you have to assess the situation. You got to look at it and say, what are we looking to do here? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we looking as a school, or are we getting behind and pushing football to the point where we got to say, hey, look, we want to bring another coach in that's going to eventually get us back to a state title? How well are we looking into the depth of trying to retain our assistant coaches and our players? You know what I'm saying? Because everybody don't look at it and value it the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like Kyle leaving is one thing, and it helps that the fact that he left now and he
Early.
didn't wait. And he didn't
Early.
wait until June or something like that to leave. But if I'm looking at it, if I'm an AD and I'm looking at the situation, I need to bring somebody in here that can kind of continue to push this in the right way, that can continue to be attractable for kids that want to come play for our fine institution at Lutheran North Crusaders. And it's going to continue to elevate the program. You can't go backwards in this situation here. It has to be a figurehead.
Oh, you can go backwards.
You can, but what I'm saying is your mindset gotta be, I'm gonna bring somebody in here that people are gonna look at this and say, I know my kid's gonna be developed. I know he's gonna be pushed weight room wise, you know what I'm saying? And I know he's gonna be talking about building character and a leader of men, like you said, because they didn't have any like real off the field type issues, big issues that, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, people heard about. So you got to bring somebody in there that can still man the locker room and help keep the focus and the business about the business. Hey, we're going to be in this weight room. We're going to work out. We're going to do the 7-on-7 like we do the 7-on-7. We're going to do the contact stuff like we do the contact stuff. And I'm going to bring some coaches in that can help me push the envelope. And it's got to be somebody that's willing to help develop the coaches in that sense too. Like you know how it goes. You don't want to bring somebody in and they using it as just a stepping stone. I think Lutheran
That is the step. That is the right now.
But I believe that, in my opinion, that in the last, since Carl Reed had it, that job is not really a stepping stone anymore. You know, they're playing at a high level. They're playing 5A and 6A schools, and they're competing on the national level and playing against very, very good teams and winning games. I looked at them this year as one of the top 3 teams in the area, period. Probably top 4. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at DeSmit won it. But, like, if I went back and said, let's grade all the teams, you know what I'm saying? Like, Carter Ritter, DeSmit, CBC, Lutheran North, you know what I'm saying? Of course, East Side, I don't count East Side because we're talking about just St. Louis area. They on the other side of the water. But if you look at all that, like, Lutheran North can compete with all of them. So the next guy that you bring in, he got to be a guy that's coming in there trying to hit a home run. We ain't looking for nobody coming in there trying to hit no singles. We ain't talking about, oh, well, he got 3 to 4 years, and no, he don't. He got 2 years, and hope the 1 year ain't ugly. All right. 2, he damn sure whoever they bring in better hope that they can keep a lid on the locker room from guys getting up out of there and getting in the portal. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, it's second semester. So kids leaving, this is the perfect time for kids to leave. You get up out of there. If you're getting up out of there, you're getting up out of there. But the longer they wait to hire a football coach, the harder it's going to be for them. But their timetable got to be right now. And it's got to be a thing where, hey, man, they need to have a coach by February 1st. Point blank, period. They cannot go into March and April and May and you doing workouts and having workouts and stuff as far as weight room and all that, and you don't got no head coach. Can't do that. They need to get on that. I mean, I know they're on it, but I'm just saying, like, it's put up or shut up as far as this next hire for Lutheran North. It's crucial for them on who they bring in and to retain not just their players, but even the coaching staff. I felt like the coaching staff, if you think about it, they coached 4 games without their head coach. That has to show a lot of praise to Kyle and what he did as far as developing the culture and everything that's going on at Lutheran North. For him to be able to say, all right, well, not him be able to say, but be suspended and not coach, and your coaching staff in the biggest game of the year against Cardinal Ritter, go to Cardinal Ritter and win.
Break the streak. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know how good that is. You go break the streak. They all on USA Today, baby. Hey, They were on USA Today like 2 days later or 3 days later with a loss.
Yeah, they don't
because of it.
They on Good Morning America.
Yeah.
So you go into their house and beat them in front of like a national TV type, that's a big deal without your head coach. So the next hire, whoever the head coach is, like they got to understand what they dealing with. They got to understand that as soon as they get there, they got to get right in and court their players. You can't get in there with no laid back approach. You got to get right in, have meetings with your players right away. Hey, what's up? What do we got to do to keep you here? What do we need to do when it comes to development to make sure you're on the right path? What does it look like with your recruiting? All that stuff. Like they got to be able to sit down and go over all of it. And it can't be no thing where they're sitting and waiting, Chris.
Yeah, and I would agree with you. And before I say anything, just is it a failure for whomever the next coach is if if he doesn't make it back or she doesn't make it back to state? Is that a failure?
I don't know if I'd call it a failure. I would have to look at the roster. You know what I'm saying?
You need to look sophomores.
Right. So they got a lot of kids that's gonna play though. They best player didn't play last year. The transfer kid right around.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say allegedly the best player. I know some people over there that feel like he's phenomenal. You know what I mean? But they feel like they got some guys.
Right. Okay. So here's my thing too. He's just not gonna be eligible, so he ain't going nowhere.
Hold on, yeah, that's not true. Karan Gardner, we want to pull up what Karan just said. One of the assistants has to be the one. Only way to keep their core together. And I was gonna say something to that. You said it though, John. Kyle Wagner doesn't coach 4 games. They go 4-0 in his absence, and they knock off one of the best teams in the area who had not been beat, and I believe it was 4 years. Clearly, they were doing something right.
Yep.
Clearly. If you're going to sit here and say, oh, it was just the players, it was this, it was that, you're a hater. You're just a hater. And that's completely okay because that's hard. When those kids don't hear the head guy's voice, and you got other assistant coaches that can speak the same thing that the head coach has been speaking, and you get the results, that's hard, bro. But it also tells you about the culture.
No, facts.
You know what I'm saying? And
the standard was the standard.
Yeah. So, and I know some of those guys over there. I know Weaver. I know Corey. You know what I'm saying? I know D. I know those guys over there. Some high integrity guys. You know what I'm saying? But again, you got to start talking about coaching because sometimes you get in situations like that, and the guy who's in charge, I forget OG name, Corey Biggs. You get guys who were in charge, and it's just like we going. You know what I'm saying?
Can you pass it to the OG that's there? Is that really an attractable thing?
I don't know, but I will say this: there are some guys who I feel like are qualified, but maybe they won't get the look that they should get for whatever reason. For whatever reason, I heard, that I believe one of their coaches may have accepted a job already.
Your source told you that?
One of my, I hate that. I really hate when you do that because hold on, what you just put up, Chris, I've been looking for that chain. It's been missing ever since you left my house. Corey, man, what a weirdo. Corey, I can't even believe you watching our show, dog. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know what? That's what we should have did. We should have had him on here to talk about Luther North and what they should do. Since you know what?
He might get a little too excited, man. He might send him a link.
Yeah.
Corey, are you free for another 10 minutes
They
to
show
jump on?
They show finna start. This show finna start.
It starts at 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
And shout out to Coach Reed live. Obviously our good friend Kerry.
Hey, that boy said, "No, sir, I'm not in it."
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay.
Well, here's one thing I do know: whether he's in it or not, he always gonna get the blame. Point blank. Period.
I mean, yeah. There's probably a lot of truth to that. There's probably a lot of truth to that. I mean,
he gonna get the blame one way or another. Chuck, I would say this in Missouri, I would say in St. Louis, heavily, a lot of the private schools, black or white, they are hiring black head coaches. Like they are.
You
like
you almost
every major private school has a black head coach, pretty much.
Principia was trying to hire who?
They what you mean trying to hire?
Never mind. Let me be quiet. But yes,
unless you know something, I don't know. Unless he
I don't
said
know
he's
nothing.
staying. Unless he's staying. Unless we could talk about it. Jeremy Macklin. It's not a secret.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't
not taking a Pacific job and staying at Kirkwood.
Yes, from what I heard. However, what you just said.
Did your source tell you that?
From what you just said, trying to hire black coaches. And guess what? I think that's amazing, bro. I think that's amazing for so many different reasons. So many different reasons.
I do, and people might take this the wrong way. I'm not like I'm gonna get in trouble for saying it, but I do think one thing is always odd though. When I see a predominantly all white institution, and then your whole team is black, that always baffles me. Because it's never really longevity in it. In my opinion, like when I saw it with Whitfield girls basketball, like a few years ago.
I mean, but not Cardinal Ritter. Trinity was like that.
And what did I just say? And there's never really long what?
Yeah, but
it's never really longevity. Like I looked at,
but all of this is cyclical anyway. You know what I mean? Like it's all like ebb and flow. You know, Lutheran North. If no pun intended, Lutheran North was good, but they weren't winning state championships when Reed took over. You know what I'm saying?
No. However, they wasn't, but they were competing at a high level, and they just so happened to keep running up against Trinity when Trinity was hot too. I feel like they were
1,000%, 1,000%. But I believe when you have certain people in place, you can weather that storm. Corey weathered that storm. Whether if we get together, I'm gonna say some stuff, and me and him gonna be arguing, and I'm gonna say it to get underneath his skin. But he weathered that storm, won a state championship. Somebody else came and did it, and obviously you got DeSmet now. Now Steeples them didn't win no state championship, but you know what he did. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, right. Corey got the position after that. Those were some guys over there. They were weathering that storm. And I do believe if he would have stayed at DeSmet, he would have won one over there because they had guys in place to be able to do it. Corey Bethany weathered that storm. You know what I'm saying? Of competing, but not really winning it.
But see,
and you got to give those guys credit.
They weather storms, but they was part of the cool kids club too, though. Like Corey Bethany and Carl tried to deny this all he wants, but Carl was a part of the cool kids table. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but
that's kind of
high school football. That's kind of high school football right now.
Well, I'm just saying he didn't even have to go to Little League football games to get kids.
I understand that, but that was a part. That was a part, and what is cool. Lutheran North running out. You got all these big footers walking out. You know what I'm saying? Everybody walking out. You see them coming from a mile away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Scholarship high. you can go anywhere from here. And
you can go anywhere for it, baby. I ain't gonna
you know
lie.
what I'm saying? So what you said was right.
The was a hit with the one-liners.
But you said it right. It was the cool kid era, and I still think that we in this era. But I feel like a lot of the cool kids are going to the wrong school. You know what I'm saying? You're still in a cool kid era right now. But back then you had some people that were leader of men that could capitalize off of the cool kid era. Corey Bethany, Corey Patterson, Carl Reed, Steeples made the Palace on Palace on Balance or whatever they used to say. You know what I'm saying? So we still are in this cool kid era, like East St. Louis. They attract a lot of kids for all reasons.
You know why? I'm gonna tell you 2 reasons why they attract a lot of kids. One, they head coach is probably like the GOAT, Darren Sunkett. 2, they best dress.
The cool kids.
Period. Hey, listen. Every time you see Ski walk around, he got on a different flyer outfit.
Yeah, he be stealing that stuff he be stealing the kids stuff, man. But I'm just playing. But I mean, that's what you gotta do, though. That's what you gotta do.
So that kind of segues us into the next question when we talk about the public versus private situation.
Hold on. So do y'all think a lot of the kids might transfer because of the coaching change?
It's a high possibility.
It is very much so a possibility.
Yeah. Will it happen? Who knows? Things like that, you don't really control it. Like I said, the next head coach, whoever they hire, has to get in there and get running. He has to get in there and say, hey, let's sit down and meet. Let's talk about whatever he talk about to try to retain his players. He has to. This era, you got to coach your players, period.
On every level, bro. And that's one thing, that's one thing that I'm really, really high on this year is let's have better relationships with our players.
Somebody got a question for you. I'm going to put it on the screen. Who the hell is your source?
For what though? About which thing?
Yeah, Chuck. We talking about Luther North. Chuck, you should have put your you know what I'm saying, your application in for it.
I can't see what Chuck said. Hey, fat boy.
Hey,
Who the hell is your source?
Hey, Carl said your boy will push your lining back.
Oh,
peace. And he finna really get off her too. Dude, cold blooded. But anywho, hey, let's jump on this public versus private a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I posted earlier this week, last week, I posted just a clip or two about my previous interview with Carl Reed, and we kind of talked about public versus private, and we talked about unquote unquote how people say that everybody's being recruited. When you look at public versus private, give me your layout of what public schools look like as far as like the up and coming public schools that are kind of making a push again, versus how it's looked in the past couple of years.
Yeah, I think one person who just stands out to me, and it's not because I graduated from the high school, but one person who stands out to me is Bobby Cole at Hazelwood East. I think
what coach did he come from again? Carl Reed.
I think, and he's running the wing T, and I think I think one thing, and a lot of people have to understand why people are running the wing T. If you're running the wing T, it's because you have the players to run it. If you're running the spread, you have the players, and I'll give Carl Reed credit because when he had a quarterback that can throw the ball all over the yard, he was running the air raid offense. I don't know if people really remember that, but when they didn't have a quarterback, they didn't have the skill position to be able to do all of that, they were lining up in the wing T. So I have to give Bobby Cole a ton of credit, especially everything that he's been through personally, let alone what the school has been through. I mean, my freshman year, Bobby Cole was a senior. They had 18 guys go Division I and play football. So to see what happened, one stayed in 2008, started to fall off. You know what I mean? Because of this private thing. I just think he deserves a lot of credit. But not only him, you know, schools like Lafayette knocking off Cardinal Ritter. Are you serious?
Yeah.
You know, are you serious?
And
You know,
it's funny to see Boyd Manning kind of resurface when he was at Parkway West for a long tenure.
I
I'm
mean,
talking about
the
tenure.
the energy that those guys played with. And I'm gonna say this, and this is no slight to Lafayette. I didn't feel like Cardinal Ritter even really. I just felt like they were just there. You know what I mean? I don't feel like feel like they had the leadership that they had the year before when McVay was there. You know, from a player standpoint. You know what I mean? I just don't think there was somebody to grab the team by the neck. You know what I mean? And pull that choke chain to get them through. And you know, so when you talk about, you know, teams like that, games, I mean, if we're being completely honest, you know, Parkway North had Lutheran North beat. If they don't fumble the ball, if they just punt the ball, they beat Lutheran. They probably beat Lutheran North. I ain't gonna say that, you know what I'm saying?
But do they win state though?
But your question was public schools being better coached, being you know what I'm saying, up and coming back. You beat Lutheran North. That's another staple for your program. You know what I mean? And I do think it's a great opportunity for a lot of kids if a lot of parents can kind of get out of the way and just give an opportunity to some of those programs like that when you live in those districts. Yeah. Because a lot of the things people always want to say is, I'm not sending them to this public school because of the education. But you'll leave a private school and go across the water. You know what I mean? And then say,
you'll leave a private school and go back to the school you said you weren't going to at first.
And you 100% will. You know what I mean? So it's just like, my question is, you have to understand what you're chasing. What are you chasing? Are you chasing for your son or your daughter or your whatever to be able to get a scholarship? Are you chasing them to go just say you played with the best and then you looking at your junior year and you didn't really play a lot, and if you left, you probably was going to be ineligible? You got to look at the full scope of what you're chasing. And I think that's the biggest thing when you start looking at private versus public. You got to parents got to start looking at the opportunities for their kid. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. You can take your ass to East St. Louis. But if you ain't ready to compete, you ain't going to play.
You're going to be over there doing this. And good shot, little Bobby.
And it ain't going to be no, well, you know, maybe he going to tell you the truth. You ain't competing. Ain't no sense you being over here being mad at us. You ain't coming to compete. Cardinal Ritter the same way. If you ain't gonna come there day one and compete, and I understand, I love when parents say, I wanna put my kid in a position with the best. Me too. But as long as my kid gonna benefit, you putting your kid against the best is great. It's competitive. You know, it builds character. It builds all of that. When you're a junior and ain't nothing shaking, and you know what I'm saying? So we need to be, and I'm saying we because I'm a parent as well, we need to be looking at all factors. There's certain kids, and when you got one, you know you got one, can go to East St. Louis and plug in and go play with all of those guys. It's certain kids that can't, but if they don't go to East St. Louis and they go here, and you plug them into this situation where you're giving them the real opportunity, and I don't just mean real opportunity, but you know, maybe he ain't really ready to compete like that on a daily basis. You know what I mean? And I just think we all have to just be looking at what we're chasing. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I coach, but if I wasn't coaching and I'm looking for an opportunity, I'm looking for the best fit. I'm looking for the best opportunity. You got to throw education in there. And I hate when people talk about the education. You can get a good education going to East St. Louis. You can get you know, it's just like, you know, people was talking about Vayshawn. Oh man, you shouldn't, man, you could go take AP classes at Vayshawn and get everything that you're trying to get. So stop with that nonsense.
This what I always tell people. You talk about the education, and don't get it twisted. I don't equivalent everything to being the same level of education. However, a Vashon kid, a Gateway kid, a Eastside kid, a Hazelwood East kid.
Shout out to Gateway.
Yeah, they made a run this year. A Hazelwood Central kid, they all going and sitting in that same econ class at Mizzou with a DeSmith kid, a CBC kid, a Luther St. Charles kid. But y'all get done, those kids are still going to go sit in the same class. And let me tell you one thing else they're going to do. They both going to tutoring. All right.
Mandatory.
And they both going to study hall. Mandatory. So when you get done talking about, and I get it, some people will say, well, I value education more. But you still
hold on, John.
Still making athletic moves.
They value the education, but some of the parents, when they send their, and it's not all of them, I'm not, just no shot to anybody. Some of the kids, parents, when they send their kid to their private school, some parents think that they got to stop parenting. They got to stop looking at the grades. You don't. You don't. These still kids we talking about. You know what I'm saying? These still 13, 14, 15-year-old kids that we talking about. And just because you sent them to private school don't mean that you got to stop parenting from the academic standpoint. You got to be on these kids. Like, you better be checking the grade, the Google Classrooms, and what these kids getting in these grades. Because one thing we talk about now more than ever is you being eligible to play high school football, but not being eligible to play college football. We failed you, bro. And it's a lot of schools out here, private and public. Kids go to these situations when they didn't think, oh, well, you know, he's never been to public school. His class size has only been 17, 18, but then you send them to a school with a class size 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, you sending them, you got to be really, really in tune to what's going on with your kid. And if you got one, you need to pay attention to this kid and what situation you're putting them in. Like, you have to. And I do think now you can get that at a lot of different places. It's just all about what you're chasing. It's 100% about what you're chasing. And a lot of the time it be the parents. And I just think it's a joint effort, the parent and the kid making an educated decision on what their future looks like, man.
I think it always goes back to just being the village, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, most people, when you think about a lot of the successful guys that made it out the mud, they had the right village around them. And it wasn't just about the parents parenting, it was about the parent parenting, the coaches are parenting, you know what I'm saying? The neighborhood parenting, like even some of the local doughboys would be like, nah, man, you ain't doing that. You're football, you know what I'm saying? Like, get off the corner.
Where is that gone? That's a whole nother topic. But where has the OGs gone that they used to tell me and you, man, don't be on that? Where has that gone, bro? It's like
it's the same thing as the village, bro. Everybody did, like, it's hard talking to people nowadays in the hood about certain things because everybody think they know it all. And there was a time where, like, I can go back and you can go and talk to some of the OGs and they'll set you straight and really have you like, oh man, I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? Let me get myself together. You know what I'm saying? And it was the same for like some of the top athletes. Like, a lot of them, man, it was just, nah, man, I ain't finna let you do that, man. Come on, man. Watch out. That ain't even for you. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, where your books at? Go on in the house. Like, that's just what it was. And Mike makes a good, gentrification, changed all of that. I ain't gonna even say that. I'm gonna say black people changed that because, and I've said this on the show many of times, we as people have ran from our neighborhoods. Point blank, period. The places you once grew up in even whether it's a city or county, North County, whatever, we have ran from those situations because we said we want better for our kids. You know what I'm saying? And we want something different. And so that's how you end up getting kids out in the Fort Zumwalts and all of that, the Francis Howes of the world, and they go into different places, which I tell people all the time, what you choose is what you choose. You know what I'm saying? And don't have no regrets about it. The problem be though is that they choose it, right? But they only choosing it because they worried about what people are going to say about them on social media. And I used to have to deal with this all the time when you talk about people deciding what school they're gonna go to for basketball and all that, whatever case may be. And the first thing they talk about, well, the education is education. And I'll be like, man, stop it, man. Your kid is an athletic kid. And the funny part about that, my experience at overtime with just talking to parents, those parents that are they know their kids basketball kids, they choosing school for basketball. They ain't sitting there talking about, well, I'm going here because I'm going to IMG because academics is great. They ain't caring about the academics at IMG or Mount Bird. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about none of that. They looking at it like Mount Bird is one of the top basketball programs in the country. I'm on my way.
And I think it's 60. I think it's 60-40, John. I think it's 60-40 right now. People choosing a school because of the sport. And I don't blame them. I 100% don't blame them. But you better know what you're getting yourself into. You know what I'm saying? You better know what you're getting yourself into, not because the coach,
okay. Derek Pitts talking about my kid went to CBC for the robotics program. Yeah, okay. and I understand you coached there, so that's different.
Yeah, but
so
and shout out to Pitts, man.
Yeah.
His boy's doing amazing things. And in the Cincinnati organization, I believe, man, baseball. That's a whole nother conversation because baseball was
this
the mecca here a few years ago.
They making some good points as far as like being able to go back in the hood, and it's hard talking to those kids. You know what I'm saying? I work with them every day. You know what I'm saying? I work at Vashon. And like I tell people all the time, kids ain't really no different than the county kids or none of that. The difference is though, it's just like teaching, period. If you're not around them at the grassroots of trying to fix and understand what their trauma is, what their day-to-day life is, they ain't trying to hear that from you. You know what I'm saying? They ain't trying to hear none of that. If you can't be empathetic about anything and show empathy about anything that's going on in their life, they ain't trying to hear what you're talking about. Whereas in our day, it was different. Like I said, we was around people that we seen it every day. People talk to us every day, and it was a little different. Now it's just like, all right, little homie, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us don't even want to waste our time talking to them or trying to have an intervention with them.
Yeah, but now it's more critical than ever though. You know what I mean? Now it's more critical than ever because we growing up in a society where, social media is the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When you see what you see on social media is the truth. Oh, I got this bag. Nope. Everything that you see on social media, it seems like is the end result. You know what I mean? When you see somebody, oh, they got all this money, or they got 10 offers, or they got whatever it is, you're almost seeing the end result. And I think that's what's getting misconstrued. Nobody sees the hard work in between any of that. And they just think, oh, he got a bag. Why I ain't getting a bag? Well, Johnny, you got a 2.3 grade point average. Coach came here and asked about you, but
right.
He couldn't count on you to be eligible. So he went and got a kid that was not as good of an athlete as you, but he had grades. You know what I'm saying? And it's needed so much right now for the OGs or the people because everybody is living a lie, man. And I shouldn't say everybody's living a lie, but it's just so misconstrued, man, about what's going on, man. The kids just need to touch reality.
It's a lot of people living a lie. Tony Aaron's got a good question. Are parents of athletes choosing colleges totally centered around academics? Hell no. Matter of fact, they ain't choosing it around academics, period.
No.
Unless Harvard, Yale, Brown, Cornell, Columbia, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless them schools is calling, ain't nobody really looking at, or Northwestern, ain't nobody really looking at no institutions and saying, oh, I'm finna pick Clemson because Clemson got a better academic program than Mizzou. No, they're not.
Yeah,
and if somebody's telling you they are, they lying. They lying to themselves. Which
Yeah.
is why I always said people fool themselves in high school when they'll say, "Oh, I'm finna go to this private school," and then say, "Well, I'm finna go to HBCU." Like what? How did you come up with that? Like, how did you go from that to? And it's not the same.
You know, it's not the same. You know, and I think some of it is for not social media, but what people are gonna say. I had I was talking to a coach. Was it Friday? I was talking to a coach Friday, and you know, I'm having a conversation, trying to build rapport, trying to build a relationship. Oh, you did this? Yeah, you know, well, I play, you know, blah 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 blah. To be able to build up some kind of credibility, right?
Right.
But guess what? All that academic shit, all of that other shit, they don't care. Football is so transactional right now.
But,
and at
hold
all,
up.
there are relationships.
I gotta get on your bumper for a second too, though, because I remember we had this conversation with you about Chris and Yale.
And but the landscape has changed so much from that until now.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Well, NIL has changed a lot of things.
Again, football is so transactional right now.
That's a fact. Tone said they was choosing North Carolina and Kentucky over Vanderbilt, and we all know Vanderbilt is a better academic institution than both of them.
1,000% engineering school,
and we ain't gonna talk about the classes that UNC was offering back in the day. They remember they talked about this with McCants and all of them. And they would say they was taking badminton for tennis, and soccer as a course. Yeah,
but
Troy, I gotta get them a little bit.
They tell you what they tell you what you want to hear, right? So you go on this recruiting visit, right? They got a list. It's like a show me that you know me list. And on that list is like, this kid live with mom or dad? Who's making the decision? What are the hot points? Are they big on academics? Are they coming here just for football? They try to understand all of this. So when you come on campus, right? You're like, hey, we're going on a visit to Mizzou. We think about broadcast journalism. Academics are a high thing. Let's play that. You know what I mean? But when you got, you know, what's the kid from Duke? Lag, I forget his name. I'm sorry. When you got the number one player in the country, what's his name? He just had 42 points for Duke. Flag. He's one and done. So what car are we playing? You know what car we playing? Listen, he gonna come here, he gonna get developed, and he gone. Maybe he stand for 2 years because you know why? The only reason he stand for that second year now is because we're gonna break off in that collective.
Coop in a different situation than probably 98% of the people.
But I'm just saying they play on 99%, 100%. But they play on what you claim you're interested in. They play off of that. When my son went on his visit to Wisconsin, you know what they played on? What? Man, you could come here and have an opportunity, because that's all we cared about was having an opportunity. We didn't care about no damn academics. My son gonna be all academic Big 12.
But see, that's where it was kind of a contradictory with you.
But we here now.
I know you're here now, but I'm just saying, because me and you used to duke it out about this all the time.
100%. But what I'm saying,
Yale and all that, and I was just like,
but John, when we've arrived, we here now. Hey, what's important? Opportunity to play. What's he want to major in? Opportunity to play. What's his start after? Opportunity to play. So now what they say every time that they talk to us, hey, he's going to have an opportunity to play. They play on what they get from you. So if you sit here and be talking about academics, we're going to talk about academics too. If you sit here and say we try to go to the league, you will have an opportunity to go to the league.
Me, and I had to get you. I had to get you because that was
it's fair though.
Right. It's fair because it wasn't we ain't never really had no shot throwing at it. I had to get on you a couple times. We was in the group chat, we was talking about it, and I was like, hold it now, Chris. You know, but I understood it. The only reason I understood it in your aspect is because he went to SLU, and SLU is
he's borderline brilliant, bro. My son tested as one of the in top 5 coming into the class. He's borderline brilliant. So who am I? I mean, who am I? I went to Hazelwood East. You know what I'm saying? No slight, because I had a 3.5 GPA there, but I went to Hazelwood East. My son is borderline brilliant. He loves academics. So who am I to, you know what I'm saying, take that away from him, especially when we knew he was going to get. And again, what are you chasing?
Hold up. Read what Toad just said.
Socially, it sounds better to say I'm sending my child to such and such. It demonstrates an economic status. Fact, just like what high school you went to. We pay tuition. Facts. Some people can't afford it. So all facts, Tone. But let that child go and get an athletic scholarship and they ready to meet the coach outside. I'm telling you, Tone.
And this what I always have a problem with.
That's all facts.
This
bro.
is no knock on junior college. But I always have a problem with that you paid for tuition for 4 years, and then the only thing that you got out of that was sending your kid to a junior college. That math don't make good sense. What they say, that math ain't mathing.
That math ain't mathing. But I will say this.
At all.
I will say this.
Like that math ain't mathing at all.
It's some parents out here though that I applaud them, because when they kid ain't doing what they supposed to be doing and they playing at a private school, it's some parents that I didn't talk to and said, well, you know what? Excuse my language, but you could go to this damn public school if you ain't gonna do what the hell if you're gonna be getting D's and C's, you can come back over here.
So
you know
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with JUCO. I went to JUCO. I ain't gonna say there's nothing wrong with JUCO. What I'm saying is it makes absolutely no sense that you pay for tuition that you probably spent, depending on where you went. If you went to one of the black private institutions and your tuition was anywhere between $7,000 to $8,000 or $12,000 a year, and you look at how much money you spent about $48,000 over 4 years, ain't no way in the world you gonna tell me that math is math, and for you then to now go send your kid to a 2-year school.
And typically, if you're going to JUCO, you don't have grades.
That's in the past. That's not now.
I think even now, though, John. I think even now
that are picking to go JUCO because they still want an opportunity to play Division I basketball. And now
that's more like I think the difference between that though is prep school and JUCO for basketball. You know, they'll go to a prep school to be able to, you know, ramp up their recruiting. You know what I mean? I'm doing this at this prep school, something like that. But I think typically, if you're going to your point, you paying all this money, and at the end of it, you going to JUCO. You're typically going to JUCO because of your grades, not because you sitting here saying, "Well, I'm gonna go to JUCO ball, average 25, and then I'm gonna be the number 1 player in the country, and I'm gonna go wherever I want." I don't think they're really thinking like that. And Tone, I may be wrong on that as well, but typically, you're going to that JUCO because you're not a qualifier out of high school. And again, parents, for those that are watching, to be a qualifier,
that don't matter no
grade
more.
point average to
ain't
be
no
eligible.
Ain't no such thing as a qualifier now, man. What are you talking about? They ain't taking
yes,
ACT.
it is.
Man, most schools ain't even tripping off ACT or SAT no more, Chris.
No. That is not true. You have
that
to
is true.
No, that's not true. In Division I football, you have to have a 2.2 core GPA to be a qualifier.
You don't gotta have a ACT score.
No, I didn't say ACT score.
That's what I just said.
GPA. I'm sorry. You have to have a 2.2 core GPA to be a qualifier. So that's English, math, science, social studies, Spanish.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: the new rules. I guarantee you, a ton of kids now are gonna be going JUCO. JUCO is gonna be the new prep school.
Well, you know why though? Because they're giving them 2 years to play.
Let me finish, and I'm gonna tell you this: I love it.
No,
I love the fact.
Hell no.
Yes,
No.
I love the fact because to play JUCO sports, that is a real grind. That is a real grind. And they meant for everybody. So if you can't survive there, it's gonna be hard for you somewhere else.
I disagree.
I'm just saying.
I disagree. And I don't disagree with if it is a grind. I don't disagree with that part. But when you start thinking about, all right, I went JUCO, right? Now I'm good enough to go Power 5, and I'm gonna play 4 years or 5 years if I redshirt. So you're gonna be 25, 26 years old tackling my 17, 18-year-old son. We're talking about a different scale of a lot of stuff, bro. Like maturity.
Which is why JUCO, when it comes to football and basketball, finna be crazy.
It's dangerous,
Because
bro.
it
It's
ain't
dangerous.
How is it dangerous to send a high school kid JUCO because you know for a fact you're not playing in the Power 5 right away now? It's only gonna be
Dangerous in football. Dangerous in
2%,
football.
top 2% in football for sure to leave high school and go play right away. All right. In basketball, it definitely ain't looking good for them.
Basketball, you need it. Basketball, you need that developmental.
Basketball is that now with Division I, they didn't up the scholarships, so there's more scholarship players. However, they taking a lot of grown kids, a lot of 24, 25, 26.
I know, John, but this is what we're gonna do. We gonna force these 18-year-old seniors to go JUCO to say now
Chris,
we're gonna really be business.
Think about it, Chris.
Bro, that is a business. That is a business trying to control so much because now you're saying you're not good enough to go. Hold on,
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm finna be real with you. They gave what you call and strike me down for it. All y'all want. The NCAA said, "I'm gonna give you niggas what you want. You want to get paid? You want to get paid? You want to make money? I'm gonna let y'all run wild." That's why the NIL stuff looks the way it looks.
Yeah,
that's why they said, you know what? Let me go ahead and give JUCO kids. I mean, it was a lawsuit part of it. Let me go ahead and give JUCO kids who only played 2 years of college basketball. Let me go ahead and give them an extra 4 because they haven't been in a 4-year school yet.
Yeah,
they letting the wild be wild. That's all it is, Chris. I think it's hurting a lot of parties in the process. Y'all don't want us to govern it. Okay, cool. I'll play your game. I'm gonna let y'all.
Yeah, but that's not what you. That's not what you do in big business, man. I don't believe that is the answer. Especially, and I tweeted this: college football, college NCAA is spiraling out of control. You mean to tell me Miami went to a Final Four? Kids on draft boards getting the opportunity. They're about to play at the next level, and they transfer.
Hold up. I'm gonna get back to you.
Come on, man.
Get back to some good points. You would take a 2-year internship at a job if you knew that would make you $100K afterwards, instead of getting in the job field right away and make $20K. That's a perfect example.
That is a perfect example, but that's exactly what's going on. And I'm gonna be honest with you.
So how are you not getting on board with this though?
Well,
are you the guy at the table at the board meeting saying, I don't like that. I don't like that. Them guys are gonna be old when they finally get to college. So what? Everybody old.
I mean, I just look at a different way from a football perspective. And when I say I'm talking about football perspective, you got a guy who's 25 or 24, right?
Right.
He's been out of high school 6 years, right? And now he's staying. Hear me out. He's staying around because he may not be a high draft pick, but through his collective, he's gonna make $75,000. If I play just hear me out. He's 25, and John Albert have a son, and his son is coming up. He's a football player. He was better than you when you were playing in the JFL at Matthews Dickey. So you think he's all world. And then he gets to wherever he's going, and he's a starting running back. He's better than you because you was only good in Little League. He's better than you. And then
Shots
he's 18.
fired.
That is a shot.
Shots fired.
And then he's 18. He's 18. He is better than you. He's all world. And he's playing against a 25-year-old at middle linebacker. That's not fair in football, bro. It's different when you're 22 and you get drafted to the NFL and you playing against all ages. It's not fair. And now, granted, some of those kids aren't, we had that, you had the guy, the tight end from Miami who played like 8 years. So but when you really think about it.
So what?
If I was out there at 24, 25 years old, I would be destroying little kids. You a kid. This is a violent sport, bro. And you're gonna give kids 2 extra years. Now they 25, and my son 18. That's violent, bro. So that's really where I'm going. The basketball, I think, even in developmental phase, kids going to JUCO playing 2 years, you know what I'm saying, getting into the mix. I understand that, but I don't think we're thinking this through with that. And I'm not trying to take it away from any kids that have to go JUCO because grades, they really weren't, big time or anything like that. But you have to think about the integrity and the safety of a lot of these kids, man. And a lot of those kids at that point, hell, my son just signed a collective deal. He need to save that money for he got 3 years left.
Troy made a good point. You got guys that are 22, 23 getting hit by a guy that's 30 years old.
But hold on. No. But I just said that.
Yes.
I just said that. But you're 22. You have 4 years to be in that weight room. You have 4 years.
God. If you ain't ready to play, you ain't ready to play.
Man, you stop it, man.
Period.
No.
You better get light on your feet, baby.
No, that ain't. Nah, bro. Nah. I just can't. From a football perspective, it's different in basketball because you don't have the physicality of the down to down play. I can't see those comments.
Solo say, man, you will be right here doing this show. Facts. He talking about he gonna be killed. He won't be doing nothing but this show and what he doing.
Hey,
co-hosting,
nothing but facts. Solo, man. Shout out to Solo, man, because I had some stuff going on in my crib, and Solo came and put my drywall up, man. So shout out to Solo, man. Solo, you the man. I don't care what they say about you. You the man in my book.
Hey, man, what else we got to talk about, man? Because we actually 32 minutes past how long we
we are not, and I want to go watch a little bit of this game.
I'm enjoying it. This is the first time we've had good dialogue as far as I think we had some good topics today. When it comes to just what the landscape looks like now for high school football, what it looks like for college, what it looks like for JUCO, what it looks like for NIL collective and all that stuff.
That's one thing I want to clear up just so a lot of people, have an understanding real quick. NIL collective, around the extra academic year, they did give a lot of people another academic year during COVID. You had some kids in COVID that were playing for years. Petra, unforeseen circumstances, reduced coaches' salaries, stipend, athletes. So real quick, reducing coaches' salaries not gonna happen, but stipend all athletes. So I don't know if you know this, but Division I football players basically they're not getting paid. They have a scholarship check. So when you move off campus, when you're on campus, your scholarship pays for your room and board. You may come out like $600 or $700 that they're going to give that student athlete when they're on campus. They're going to give them $600 to $800 that'll be credited back to them. They'll get a check. When they move off campus, they know the school no longer pays for their room and board. They give that money to the student athlete. And I'm using my son for an example for the obvious reason. I believe he gets about $2,400 a month from his scholarship check. With that, they pay, they may have a roommate living in a certain, living with roommates. He pays $1,000 to all of his bills, and then he keeps $1,400. You know what I'm saying? So the players were getting money. The amount of money that they were getting, it just wasn't a lot.
Well, they're getting a lot now.
Huh?
They're getting a lot now.
They're getting a lot now. So, and John, we can wrap up after this. This is why I'm even saying a lot of the stuff that I'm saying about giving kids an extra year, because it's going to hurt high school babies. You giving these kids extra year. Hear me out, John. You're going to give these kids an extra year. These kids that they're not coming to your high schools, to the local high schools to recruit, because they can go get a junior college guy who's 2 years mature, 2 years strong, 2 years ready to come in when that 18-year-old ain't ready because maybe they didn't lift weights like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's changing the whole dynamic of it. So when we also when we talk about collective and NIL, collective is what the NCAA gives every school. They give them, let's just say, I believe it's about $20 million every school is getting that towards their collective. Basketball, swimming, hockey, football is divided between that. So kids are getting collective deals, $50,000, just use that number, a year. They're getting $50,000, but that doesn't have anything to do with their scholarship money. They'll still get their scholarship money as well. You know, so you're going to have a lot of guys, man, I was in JUCO. I'm just going to ride this out for another 4 years, and I'm going to get a red shirt. You're hurting your own kids' chances of being recruited unless you got one.
You sound like a jealous female that, well, she driving.
I have no reason to be. I have no reason to be jealous. No, I mean, I'm just being the fact.
I'm just saying how you sound when it comes to this situation, because, like, come on, Chris.
People don't understand until they kids they talking to the coach, and the coach saying, "Hey, you know what? We like your son a lot. We want to offer him. We want him to be a part of what we got going on. But we looking at this junior college kid." That's when they gonna understand it.
No, what they gonna say is they're gonna be like, "All right, look, you know what? Let me call Tone, and I'm gonna place him down there in mineral area." That's how it's gonna go. Even they don't have football, basketball. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you know what? We ain't gonna take it because we got an older kid coming in. But look, I'm gonna place you down at this JUCO. I'm gonna make sure you get some NIL money down there.
You can't get no NIL money down there. That ain't how it works. You can't get NIL money when you go to JUCO. You can only get in collective. Collective is what the school is paying kids. NIL is a separate
bread down there. What you talking about? They finna still be getting bread down there.
Tony Iron says college athletes will be employees of the school. School is responsible for the payment. In the collective, that is very, very true. They're basically employees of the school. But one thing that I also have you parents know, these kids who quote unquote getting NILs in collective, if they're getting collective, they're signing a contract and it's in their contract. If a school promises them NIL, it ain't guaranteed. They got to get it in the contract too. And people ain't understanding that.
Read his next comment he just said.
We are the only country where academics and athletics are together. In other countries, you would be pro B or C until you are ready. Very, very true. Very true.
We live in a world of dictatorship around here.
Very, very true. JUCO will be the minor leagues or the G League. Very, very true, Pitts. I mean, you basically, and I'll say this, a lot of the kids who came out of certain schools, not just in St. Louis, but all over, let's just say the kid went Power 5, right? And then they transferred.
They get paid, Troy. I don't care what nobody say. It might be illegal all it won't. It was illegal when guys was calling the middleman to come pick the bag up, and the middleman would go pick the bag up, and it was $150 in the bag. He take his 10 or 15 and then drop the bag off at the house like this from Kansas, this from the UNC. Come on, man. Stop playing, man. I hate when you get on here and act like it ain't gonna still happen.
It's not gonna happen no more. They're gonna pay them legally.
Not at JUCO. You just said it was illegal, right?
Oh, no. At JUCO, man, but they ain't giving them no bread like that, bro.
What?
Man.
What?
That might be, and you know what? To your point and to Troy's point, that might be kind of the that might happen. That might happen. You know what I'm saying? That very well might happen.
Troy said
very well might happen.
Troy said you was a part of the under the table deals.
Hey man, I don't know what you talking about, Troy. I got all of this. I got all of this
You
with
passed the
hard work.
statute of limitations now. You
Hey,
good.
I got all of this with hard work, and
That's a fact. Universities will definitely be playing ball when it comes to making sure JUCO kids are taken care of.
but this the thing. This the thing. You can't guarantee it.
What?
You can't guarantee it because guess what? If they playing ball with you, they can play. They can play the fence. They can play the fence, bro.
They
So
can't.
if
But I'm just saying, if you want to dance, you're gonna have to dance. Point blank. Period.
yeah,
You
man,
can't-
but they
you
ain't
can't
dancing.
do
They're
that.
not dancing
Okay.
with guarantees.
All right.
They're not dancing with guarantees. They're gonna start dancing a little bit more when they get close to signing those guys. You know what I'm saying? When they get close to them guys going to JUCO, getting their associates and being eligible to, you know what I'm saying, actually benefit from it. It's still gonna be regulations on, and taxes like, all right, who we targeting? Who we talking to? Well, this guy's the number one running back after his freshman or his first JUCO season. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're gonna have that because guess what? You got it now.
Yeah,
You
Mike.
got it right now with trying to get guys on campus. Hey, let's get on campus. Hey, I don't know. We really can't make it out there. It's going on right now. So yeah, that's very, very fair to a different degree. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just a little bit more legal to be like, hey, man, we ain't coming. Why you ain't coming? Well, y'all only giving us 100,000 in collective. We'll give you 150.
On the way.
Right. You go 150? Now we gonna come. Hey, can you make sure that we put in there a little $20,000 stipend? This is all factual stuff that's going on. Can you put in a $20,000 stipend for my family for travel and everything like that? Hey, and I need 2 sideline passes to every game. Out of control, bro. Like the demands and everything are just out of control. But that's very, very factual because it's still happening now. But it's just a little bit easier to be able to give a kid $50,000 or $30,000 more, or whatever, to be able to entice them to come to the university. Just the world we living in. Great conversation, though.
Hey, great conversation. Just a little bit off topic. Well, not really off topic. I mean, we're just moving right along because we're about to end the show to talk about a little bit of business with Mo Better Sports. Hey, listen, April 7th through the 14th, we're having Mo Better High School All-Star Weekend. Well, actually All-Star Week this year. It won't just be one day. It'll be a 7-day thing. We're adding 7-on-7 challenge, lineman challenge, and all those good things for high school football seniors. We also have the basketball game as always. Make sure that you go on Mo Better Sports. All right. Make sure you go on the Facebook page. There's a Google Doc to recommend kids that you think should play. All right. We're trying to be better about how we're selecting kids and all of those good things. Okay. Especially for the 7-on-7 with our first year doing it. All right. Make sure you recommend some of the top singers around, the ones that did actually come and, for second semester that's still here that would like to participate. We want as many kids as we possibly can have. We're also having a partnership this year with the Boys and Girls Club of Greater St. Louis, as well as they'll be part of our Mo Better Sports High School All-Star Weekend. We're trying to turn it up. We're trying to take it to the next level. I'm John Albert. This is Nothing But Facts with my co-host, Chris Brooks.
Hold on. Corey Smith said this, and you said it. You said it to me personally, and my old coaches said it. Chris, imagine how much money you could have made if this was going on when you played.
Oh man, boy, be rich. Boy, he probably wouldn't even answer my phone calls. Yeah. But you know what? Like D always said,
we ain't never been friends.
We ain't never been friends. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Hey, listen, we will be back next Monday. All right. I know the national championship game is going to be on. We'll figure out the time and try to coordinate it. But we will be back each and every Monday night. From here on out, Chris has gave me his word. So we will be back. All right, people.
Long as that check cash.
Oh, man. Straight cash, homie.